to develop throughout the day?
Well, you know what? The worst of the precipitation is done, and we're already starting to see some wind advisories expire locally, but we still have a lot more that we're going to have to deal with after the last of the raindrops falls. So as we take a look, we've got the raindrops, of course, on our camera lens here. We also have some fog in here as well. Visibility has dropped across the region with the fog. We're down to 2 miles in Smithfield, 4 miles at TF Green, and we're matching that one in Newport. Now, none of these visibilities are low enough to basically put a halt to traffic out there. That number, by the way, is quarter mile. We're not at quarter mile visibility, but still, fog is definitely with us. So how much rain have we gotten? In the past 24 hours, we have seen an 1.5 inches to even more than 2 inches in North Kingstown. And we do have extensive ponding on the roads. On my drive into work this morning, there was literally a spin out that happened next to me. So yeah, hydroplaning is definitely possible. It has happened. Now, our current temperatures are in the 30s and lower 40s. We do have temperatures, though, in some places that are around freezing, like Worcester, for example, with a current of 32. And because we have precipitation happening, you bet some folks are seeing this as snow. Now, one thing we need to take care of is we are expecting, during the time of high tide this morning, the potential of some coastal flooding in the area shaded in this neon green. Here, we're expecting up to 1 foot of inundation possible during the high tide time, and that flood warning, by the way, is in effect through about 10 o'clock this morning. It has already been quite gusty. We've seen a peak gust of 45 miles per hour here downtown, 41 for New Bedford, 44 out on the block, and nearly 50 in Groton. Our winds, though, now are a lot less. These are our sustained winds, 25 miles per hour plus, with current gusts up to 45 in Providence. And as we take a look at Smithfield, we're at 29 miles per hour. So we do have wind alerts that are in effect. Our wind advisory in effect for our corner of southern New England, being Bristol County and all of Rhode Island, Bristol County, Mass, and all of Rhode Island, has literally just been taken off the menu. But if you are traveling up to Boston or in easternmost areas of Massachusetts, there we're looking at the possibility of wind gusts exceeding 50 miles per hour. So what we were most concerned about, that this band here of the heaviest of the rain has already lifted through. Now we're sort of left on the back side of this system where there are a couple of things happening. Number one, runoff. We are still feeding these area rivers and streams because the water needs a place to go. Second of all, look up towards Worcester. You can see in those last frames, yeah, it's mixing over to snow. That's not expected in our corner. Not to say we couldn't see it happen well north of the city. This is one of our models. Just afternoon, it's going for the chance of a little snow shower. But northern New England is actually going to get socked with snow. So your favorite ski areas, looks like they're gaining a little bit more of extended life up there. So as we go through tonight, we are expected to do some clearing. Tomorrow morning, early on, we'll likely see a little bit of sun, but if you sleep in, you're going to miss it. Otherwise, we're looking at mostly cloudy skies with a chance of a shower through the day on Friday. Nothing like we saw with this heavy, steady stuff. It'll be just that, the chance of a shower. So how much rain do we still have to go? Well, we've got about, I'd say, 1/3 to 1/2 inch between now and this afternoon. Again, the worst of it has already happened, and our impacts across the region include the damaging winds with the potential of power outages, which is now mainly for eastern Mass, flooding, coastal flooding for this morning, and then street flooding, that's happening as well. Hydroplaning is definitely in the cards. Heavy wet snows for northern New England and marine concerns, rough seas, in addition to that potential for coastal flooding to our south. Our rivers again are expected to go into flood. We are very close to that in the Patuxent, the Pawcatuck, and the Wood. The Woonsocket is expected to crest right at action stage, right at bankful, and then go down. So we're not expected to technically go into flood, but it will be like right on the line there. So going through our area rivers, the Patuxent at Cranston is expected to crest at nearly 12 feet tomorrow morning and is expected to remain in flood until further notice. As we look at the Wood and Hope Valley, cresting at 7.1 feet at midnight tonight. Flood warning in effect till Sunday morning. And so you see, we do have these lingering effects. We are, the Pawcatuck is a tidally influenced river, so every time we have a high tide, it's going to go up over the flood stage. Its highest crest is expected to be tomorrow morning's high tide at 8.3 feet, and that flood warning is in effect until further notice. So with all of that said, yes, it's a multifaceted storm. When are we going to get the sun back? Excellent question. I'm glad you asked. It looks like our next fully sunny day is going to be on solar eclipse day on Monday. And not only that, temperatures will be going